quite a showing. A little bit of bias on their side, I think.
Well, you know, if you're a home crowd caster, this is the thing, right? When it comes to these kind of tournaments, this is a fun, interactive tournament where you have players who aren't necessarily going to be taking competition to the absolute highest level, although we say that Chinese team really did. You know, you're allowed to have a bit of bias. I was totally European biased in the semi-final that we had earlier this week. And I'm proud to be, because I'm proud of our region. I think Europe's a great region. I really wanted them to do well. When they won that second game in 20 minutes, I was like, damn, Europe, awesome.
We've got a game on our hands.
Exactly.
His Ari was pretty clean, but it wasn't clean enough.
His Ari was clean. Let's be honest. It was fairly clean. But, you know, a lot of these teams, these guys now can afford to be biased. It is good fun in a situation, especially when you are running that home crowd advantage. You saw how much support there was for the Taiwanese Hong Kong Macau team, THM. And Chinese team, you know, they're not too far from mainland China right now, but they still are definitely behind in terms of crowd support, despite all of those World Elite flags and stickers that you saw floating around.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, you cheer on both teams. That's the sign of sportsmanship right there,
It's the participation that counts, Jules.
Exactly. Not so much as North America and Europe to get absolutely destroyed.
Well, I wouldn't say that Europe got absolutely destroyed. I thought we had
one game.
We had one game. North
nice.
America got
That seems like a lot of World Championships as well. We had one game.
We had one game.
We had one game. North American fans are like, we had group stages. We had one game.
That feels like it's the that feels like it's definitely the way. Got some stats coming up here. To looking at certain players, GodJJ, 11 kills this tournament, a 3.7 kill death ratio, 334 CS a game average. Talk about a guy who's still on top of his form. Those are some stats to reflect that, Jaws.
This guy is an AD carry player. You can just tell. High KDA, big CS as well. An AD carry player, definitely. Through
He was a support main, to be honest.
Oh, well, you wouldn't have guessed it. I mean, 11 kills, come on. A lot of supports do steal kills.
Sounds like my support playing.
Yeah.
You always complain about me stealing kills.
It's true. It's the worst. Give it to the carries, man. Get me fed.
Get me fed.
Oh, man. CaoMei as well. His stats are up on your screen now. 13,000 gold per game. It's pretty high. Again, China just overperforming, it seemed, against North America. 14 total kills, 7 KDO as well.
Yeah, I mean, that is a sign of a guy who's still completely in form. CaoMei, I mean, okay, he was playing up against Hotshot GG, and Hotshot GG is a fantastic guy, but he's not played competitive League of Legends for quite a while. I think the last time, I think most people said he's currently in Diamond 5, so it's not like he's sort of playing at the upper echelons of League of Legends these days. CaoMei still plays as a very competitive player, currently coaches Team World Elite, I believe. So he dominated, but arguably was an easier matchup for him to do so in.
He's coaching the team while he's running through the game as well. That's what it seemed like. Gotta say, maybe they bring some old coaches as well in. That'll be quite entertaining.
Coached by ancient coach.
Ancient coaches, maybe like Peekaboo or something. He wouldn't actually. Well, he's an old Korean coach, and Korean player, but nonetheless still an old player. Getting to grips. I did actually see a CLG shirt. Oh, no, I thought it was him on the left. There was a CLG shirt chilling as well in the audience. It was pretty interesting.
These North American brands, they are international. As you can see here, Chinese team up on your screen. The player cams in full force in the front of the booths.
So we're getting into champ selection very, very soon. This is going to be it. Game number 1 is going to decide it, I think. It's going to set the tone for the rest of the series. And will Misaya actually pick TF? He said if he gets an opportunity, they are playing fully serious, he might play it. Pigman has started though. China going to be on their way. 2 top laners from Stanley. That Maokai and Jack's taken off the board, as well as that Elise and Corki for THM.
Interestingly, Maokai seen more frequently in the jungle. Lilballz played that, I believe, twice in his series, so that's going to be a ban going down. Stanley's not going to get his hands on Jax, the champion that he played twice against Europe, and both times found the win. And now it's up to THM for a final ban. Do they ban something more meta? Or do they ban something like the Twisted Fate just to pay respect to Misaya? Although Misaya didn't pick it last game. Not going to ban the Cho'Gath, going to go for the Rek'Sai instead. And Fzzf gets his hands on Thresh.
Just instantly locks it in. He knows exactly what he wants to play. The big Rakan ban here as well for China coming up against Mistake. His Rakan was devastating. I think absolutely devastating.
You absolutely have to respect absolutely have to respect how good Mistakes Rakan was in the game versus Europe. Couple multiple man knockups later, and you're thinking I should probably ban this guy away.
All right, coming out of the gate strong. There we go. Cho'Gath lock in here for THM. That can go towards the jungle. We've seen it, and the top lane as well. And that Kog'Maw as well for GodJJ. It's a pretty big pick for him. Again, he's really been the backup support, proving that THM have a fighting roster. This guy has performed exceptionally well thus far.
Yeah. GodJJ put onto something that he could potentially carry with if it goes towards the late game. This has been banned every single game so far, and WeiXiao is going to get his hands on Kalista. The Kalista Thresh lane in full force for China. Maybe a mistake here from the THM team. It has been banned consistently and frequently, never seen its way through a game thus far.
Same with the Jarvan as well. That's been a very, very hotly contested pick. That Kalista Thresh bottom lane, that is something to be scared of, especially if you're someone like GodJJ on this Kog'Maw. You need protection. Maybe they choose to pick up a priority support here rather than anything else on the menu. I
agree. I think support for me would be fantastic. That's an interesting one.
That has been picked up a lot recently.
Yeah.
Trundle was to support. Can go Ardent Sensor. Has got Stoneborn Pact, so it's going to be a lot of healing for GodJJ. We'll see if he does actually land up in Mistake's hands. Can obviously go top lane as well to battle against someone like a Jarvan if CaoMei decides to take that one.
Feels like it could be a support pickup, though. I don't see why it wouldn't be. Makes a lot of sense with the top lane bans now starting to come through from THM.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking that Jarvan is going to go into row in the jungle. Cassiopeia being banned away by from Toyz as well. Another big pick for him.
China, I reckon they're going to give Toyz the priority counter pick, you imagine. That would be the way that I would look at this, because Toyz is such a big player for the THM team. He would then go for that red side final pick counter where possible.
Makes a lot of sense. I'd be scared of Misaya if he popped up in my games as well. Toyz, you can imagine he's played against him a fair few times. Now that Gragas being banned away here as well.
CaoMei was known for his Gragas back in the day. So with the Lulu ban coming out, maybe China not so clued up as to whether this Trundle is going to go either top or support. Be interesting to see, actually, from THM. Very interesting to see. We have been seeing Trundle a little bit more in the support role once more. Works nicely with Kog'Maw. The pillar facilitates Kog'Maw's ability to just single target focus a carry.
All right, wow. Toyz locks in that Orianna. He's got a skin for this. He's got the Orianna skin from Season 2 Worlds when he did play alongside Lilballz, Stanley, and Mistake.
And he didn't play it when he played Orianna versus
There
Europe.
we go. Hang on a second. Twisted fate for Misaya. He said he was going to pull it out if the time is right. That time is now.
No way!
And an Evelyn 2 for row.
And that is going to be top lane Jarvan for CaoMei. Evelyn for row.
Evelyn played mid by Misaya. Has got 100% win rate. Let's not forget.
Goodness me, this Chinese team absolutely bringing the full front force here. Misaya's Twisted Fate. This has not been something that we have seen competitively for quite a while. Expect a masterclass from this guy.
Oh, I cannot believe it's actually happening. Misaya's Twisted Fate against Toyz playing the Orianna. Two champions that they're extremely well known for.
They've got the double teleport going on. There's the potential for a 1-3-1 with Jarvan in the side lane and Twisted Fate in the other. He can respond so easily and quickly. Let's have a look at the summoner spells for THM though. Kog'Maw running Cleanse because he realistically needs to right now. The hook and the gold cards are very, very difficult. And actually you're going to see Mistake run with the heal himself. This is something that we did see a little while back when Ignite started to affect the target. Healing only, but you could still receive healing from allied sources. It's not something that is uncommon, but does require incredibly good communication with your support, because often the AD carry likes to be the one to know when they're going to use heals. So really requires very, very good communication with the support and very good reflexes. But these two compositions, they're looking pretty spicy.
Just get buffed as well with the Ardent Tensor.
Yes.
So that's something else to kind of keep in mind. You can see the lineups on our screen. Got a beautiful team composition. Look up. Misaya and Ro, these guys, they're going to be the ones to watch.
Oh,
you cannot divert the camera from mid lane and jungle here. Lilballz on the Cho'Gath as well.
Interesting. This is a very good protect the Kog'Maw composition, though. You've got plenty of ways to disrupt the Chinese team trying to dive this Kog'Maw, but you do have to get to late game to make this work, you feel. A lot of this is going to rely either on Stanley getting so far ahead that he just runs away with things as Irelia. We saw CaoMei do exactly the same thing versus North America in the first game. Or you're going to get to late game. GodJJ needs to have 3 items, 4 items at the least, and it becomes a full protect the Kog'Maw composition. Ardent Sensor rolling in from the Trundle. Obviously, the Chinese team, too, looking pretty strong themselves.
Evelyn, how's Evelyn actually going to interact with Cho'Gath here? It's going to be very hard for him to obviously spot her coming, but also sustain against it. Like, that's going to be the massive issue for Cho'Gath. He's clear not so great in the early levels.
It's more the pressure that Evelyn's going to exert on the map. The one thing that classically Evelyn has always been good at is ganking, because of her ability to just get into a lane, circumvent wards, get through all that kind of thing, doesn't really bother with them, and then just consistently look to pressure lane. So Ruo, someone that we saw pressure lane so heavily in the previous game, especially top lane, has now got a champion that will be able to do that for pretty much free, regardless of vision.
Speaking of vision, though, Gate Destiny, Gold Carzonias. That's exactly what...
Will we see those plays? Will we see those plays?
Exactly what Misaya was famous for. Popularizing that Gate and Destiny Gold Carzonias combo to bait players into using their ultimates as soon as he came down. It's got a star-studded jacket on as well. He's shooting for the stars in this game. Toyz looking as mean, and I was going to say badass as ever. It's quite true coming into this Orianna. If he doesn't wear his skin, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed in all honesty. He has to at the end of the day. It's the finals.
I mean, it's a crowd pleaser, right?
Exactly. He is a crowd pleaser. Should be good jumping onto the Rift very, very shortly. Guys are just loading in at the moment. This is a best of 3, remember, so these teams do have a little wiggle room in terms of how their drafts do pan out.
Dedication, look of intense concentration coming out for some of these players. Despite the fun, despite the games, this is a lot of pride on the line for their regions, pride of their history as well. This is basically Season 2 World Championships taking on probably what was considered one of the contenders at the very top end of things for the Season 3 World Championships. Some of the best rosters these regions have ever seen. So whilst it is a bit of fun, a lot lies on the line in terms of individual region pride for these players.
Exactly that, and a lot of these players have played on the same team as well. So the communication, you can imagine, is still going to be there. That's going to be the big question coming into this one. We saw both of them, dismantle each other's opposition. We are jumping onto the Rift, though. Game number 1 as the camera pans around the THM crew, the lineup. Toyz has got his skin on as well. TPA Orianna gracing the Rift once again. We do have on the blue side as well. Team China coming through. Misaya's Twisted Fate and the Evelyn Faro. They are moving towards the top side now. Or the bottom side even. The camera was flipped up around. Mistake is going to find it. Gold card for Misaya. Who's going to land onto Mistake? The level 1 cheese is too real for China. Mistake knew he was good as dead, and WeiXiao picking up first blood.
They didn't even need to burn a flash for that. Misaya literally just walked up. Boots level 1, by the way. Extra bit of movement speed in the bank. Just literally lands a gold card right down. There we go, there's a replay of that. Level 1. Excellent replay to bring to the table.
Level 1 gang. Oh, it wasn't even a gang, it was just...
It just walks up and gets the kill.
Walks up and gets it, yep. Trundle being a little bit too over-aggressive. Mistake goes back to base with his head. A little bit of a slump there. Extra longsword start for WeiXiao.
At least he didn't burn any summoners, though. I think that's one of the most important things in that situation. Knew he was dead, summoners retained for lane. So it's a small boon for WeiXiao in lane with this this longsword, but realistically, something that I think that GodJJ Mistake could survive, as long as they're not getting hooked. But Fzzf already looking like he's on form with those hooks.
Primed and raring to go. That is an interesting start from Misaya. Boots, obviously, to dodge out the Orianna command attack and command dissonance. Orianna, queen of mid lane control. So I may be looking to set up a small freeze here in mid as well. He's going to need to. I mean, Ro's going to have some incredible ganks if he gets the opportunity. Wow, WeiXiao. Look how aggressive he's playing as well. New Fzzf had that minion.
I like that Toyz has gone for the cleanse himself. Ruo looking for an invade onto this Cho'Gath. Will have to be careful. Doesn't have Smite up available. And Cho'Gath is making his way through. Lilballz will not see, but maybe looking to catch out here. I don't know.
Ro, has he got the distance on him in terms of vision? Yeah, Lilballz have spotted him. The pings do come through. Double buffs and Rupture does end up missing. Ro just slipping into the shadows.
Excellent positioning now from Ruo.
Oh, nice. Actually, nice Ignite as well. Mistake, this is a trouble. One almost auto attack finished him off. The Ignite ticking down, but the level up saves him.
And the
does end up closing the heal.
And the passive comes through as well. Stanley struggling here versus CaoMei, who's trying to push the, or not push the lane as hard as he can, but freeze it where he can just to try and bring Stanley into trading range. That Dragon Strike, such a good trading tool for Jarvan in the early game. Looks to just get those passive basic attacks off, the hard-hitting martial cadence, and then slams down with the Dragon Strike.
Oof. So I was going to have to dodge a little bit quicker than that if he wants to get out of the way of Toyz. Toyz firm control of this mid lane right now. Stanley actually starting Corrupting Potion in his top side against CaoMei.
No, this is going to be a tough matchup versus CaoMei in the early game. Very hard to trade into the Dragon Strike as more and more levels go in it, and Irelia does not exactly do super well in the early game. She definitely peaks around level 9 when she gets that max level in Heightened style. But WeiXiao already almost a half of that turret HP gone because the ability for this lane to shove in and the advantage of that long sword allowing him to push very easily and very frequently as well. Oh, wait a second,
Lilballz might be in trouble. That Rupture does end up missing. The Flay comes through. Ro's actually in the mid lane. Cleanse from Toyz to get away. Two fights happening at the same time. It does burn by the red buff. And Ro actually moving a little bit too aggressively there. Takes another couple of clockwork wind-up basic attacks from Toyz, but ends up backing off.
Nice cleanse. That's exactly why you pick it up in this mid lane matchup. The gold card. Evelyn combo very strong. Ruo's just going to take away this Rift Scuttler. And Fzzf will return to this bot lane to again aid WeiXiao once more, and they can continue their aggressive maneuvers. GodJJ, though, currently sitting even on CS. Very impressed with him. He is probably one of the members that I've been impressed the most with as Ruo looks to make his move down here.
Oh, hang on a minute. Lilballz coming over the wall with the blast cone. That's going to be the lantern away. Lilballz in a lot of trouble, though. Fzzf missing the flay, but the hook lands on Mistake. He's going to flash away. WeiXiao flashes forward. So does Ro. He meets him with the kill. Ro picks up the second kill of the game for Team China. GodJJ and Lilballz, they had to run away at that point. Flash blown on Mistake as well.
Good moves from the Chinese bot lane there. Nice play by Ruo. Another great instantaneous cleanse from GodJJ means he walks out. And that's why the cleanses have come down for both Toyz and GodJJ. Absolutely needed in how aggressive the CC is from the Chinese team. The gold cards, you need to get out of them. The hooks, if you get hooked up, you're probably dead, especially with this Kalista lane. So
almost Captain Jack-esque on the cleanse there for GodJJ.
No, they can't lose this now.
Kalista kind of bad at taking turrets. Yeah. Imagine if you could have rented a turret there. That would be super OP.
She's got a slightly lower basic attack scaling than most other carries in the game. They do get a huge amount of damage down at just 5 minutes. That is going to be a couple more waves shoved into turret, and you feel the Chinese team might even get first tower blood this early on. And that is a very, very dominant position to be in, to get the towers so early. You can then force rotations, you can then start to snowball from that. Another move by Fzzf.
Oh, Pillar does get launched though, but Ro's going to be here. Fzzf going fairly low. There's the challenging smart onto Mistake. Doesn't have the ultimate or anything to turret dive at the moment, but WeiXiao happy with just the damage down onto this turret. And Misaya's level 6 as well, something else to keep in mind. Has got teleport still, went for the Catalyst as his first ingredient of an item.
It's interesting. It's something that we have seen Twisted Fate mains do before, go towards the Rod of Ages. Ruo is looking to put pressure onto Toyz here. The cleanse isn't back up just yet. So there's a small window of opportunity for Misaya to look for a gold card and go with Ruo, but Ruo has been spotted out, so Toyz will be a little bit careful for the next few seconds. Doesn't want to get caught out by that Evelyn gank. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the first use of the Twisted Fate ultimate, because Misaya was the one that coined the phrase that if you don't get anything done in your first 2 Twisted Fate ultimates, you're just not doing well in the game.
Oh, hang on a minute. Here we go. The gold card does land. CaoMei with the Cataclysm as well. Lilballz is just melting before your very eyes. He ends up falling. No flash was available for him. Maybe looking for a turret dive here on Stanley. CaoMei coming in. The hook does land. The gold card's going to land too. Fly backwards. Ignite comes for Fzzf. Can't quite chase him underneath his turret, but in fact, they're just still going for it. Misaya locking the card already.
He looks the red card there.
Locks the red card, and CaoMei ends up falling. That's actually a double kill for Stanley instead. Misaya having to teleport back to that mid lane. Oh my goodness, that's not what they wanted to happen.
Well, red card I think actually does the most damage. So maybe we're just looking for the pure damage there. Even I don't think gold card would have saved CaoMei. A double kill for Stanley. It's why you never tower dive on Aurelia. She can turn things so easily with that equilibrium strike, and obviously was healing up through the use of her ultimate as well. Over-aggressive move from the Chinese squad, giving Stanley a small bit of breathing room in this top lane where he was struggling in terms of CS versus CaoMei. But now with 2 kills to his name, he's picked up the Ninja Tabai. That will help him defend against the Jarvan. Working towards what you imagine is going to be Phage next, then towards that Trinity Force.
Both of them picking up Ninja Tabais. A lot of focus here in the mid lane. CaoMei is going to find it Lilballz though. Toyz with an instantaneous cleanse on the gold card from Misaya. So once again, forcing out that summoner spell. But like I mentioned before, it's going to happen. Realistically, there's not a point in Toyz' life right now in this lane where he's going to have to save the cleanse because you've got so many things to actually cleanse and get out of the way.
Problem is that whenever you get hit by a gold card in lane, because it's probably more than likely that Evelyn is waiting to make a gank happen. Even if Evelyn isn't there, Toyz will be tempted to just straight up cleanse so that he doesn't get put in that situation. Hasn't had to burn his flash though, so he's had a pretty safe laning phase as far as an Orianna goes. One of the best ways to punish an Orianna is by obviously trying to get her to burn her flash, which makes her very vulnerable in lane. She's very immobile without that flash, so she could be quite easily ganked. But Toyz has been able to keep hold of it for now. Gone toe-to-toe with Misaya right now in almost every aspect, including CS, where he's taken a small advantage. But despite the early Chinese aggression, something they're famed for, THM team are still on track here.
They absolutely are. That first Drake not being too big in this game, in all honesty. It's an Ocean Drake after all. Nothing exciting like an Infernal Drake, however.
Pretty big in the laning phase, right?
Yeah. It is. You get a lot of sustain, so maybe something that THM actually wants to go for here. CaoMei just setting up the perfect freeze on Stanley. He got those 2 kills, but he isn't having any more of that CS, it seems. And now Lilballz making his way towards the bottom lane here.
Making his way towards the bot lane. All summoners there except for the healing knights, or both flashes rather. Chinese team maybe going to extend past here. Lilballz looking for the gank, has got his feast available.
I don't know where he is. There's the pillar. Fzzf actually caught up here, does sneak around it. Nice rupture, does get dodged out. They're going to chase Fzzf. He does get Fates called. Straight back, knocks up. Hang on a second, Fzzf, that's not where you want to go. Getting Destiny does come in. GodJJ comes through. He does get stunned up, but he's going to instantaneously get out of it. Misaya actually having to flash here, as Stanley does come down with a teleport as well. The whole squad of THM now in this bottom side.
That was a good opportunity for Stanley to look for something because of the freeze from CaoMei, and not only did it now allow THM to relinquish the pressure in the bot lane, they also will have CaoMei unfreeze that lane naturally in the top because of the teleport. When you see the teleport come out from your opposing top laner and you are frozen in the lane, you either leave it and freeze it, or you just shove it to tower to give yourself the opportunity to put pressure on that tier 1 turret and deny the enemy top laner minions. And CaoMei was forced to unfreeze the lane at that point, knowing that it was the best way to try and punish Stanley for that teleport. And it's going to put CaoMei now roughly 23 or so CS in the lead, 24 now, and got some good chunk of damage onto that tier 1 turret.
Yeah, those turrets you can imagine are going to fall very, very soon. China just all-out aggression in top and bottom side. Misaya struggling a little bit in this mid lane against Orianna, but that's to be expected in all honesty. Rowe is going to find GodJJ. Agony as Embrace is available. That Blade the Rune King or Cutlass active is going to save his life for the moment, but they do actually just focus their Wrath onto that turret, and that'll be first turret of the game going down to China in the bottom lane.
Yeah, that was always going to happen given the pressure that WeiXiao and Fzzf had mounted up on this Kog'Maw. It's a lane that Kalista and Thresh can be so dominant in just because of the pure threat of that combo. It was kind of like the iconic combo when Kalista first came out. The ability to hook someone and build those Ren stacks so easily was what made that combination good. And obviously with this this Kog'Maw and Trundle, I'm going to struggle to play into that kind of lane. And now it looks like GodJJ is just doing his best to try and freeze. He
can see you, Fzzf, by the way.
Yeah.
He can see you. You're just a little bit too far forward, not in the fog of war. And hence Lilballz actually sitting here too on the side. Wards are going to get cleared out though. Mistake actually finding Fzzf with that pillar. Box is going to get activated. There's the subjugate as well from Mistake. Shredding those defensive stats, but Fzzf happy just flashing away.
Rod of Ages now finished for Misaya. Bit of a spike for him. There's the ultimate from Ruo.
Agony's embrace. Shockwave is going to get flashed out of. A lot of damage down onto Toyz. Misaya couldn't follow anything up, as there was a big beefy cho'Gath as well there to meet him.
Current of Flash is burned because of some good counter positioning from THM here. Both Fzzf and Ruo now kind of burnt their Flash for naught. Stanley hit that level 9 point now. Has got the Phage. This is where he's going to start to do well in this lane. He has weathered the early storm. But China now, knowing that they've got some map advantage because of how far ahead WeiXiao feels like he is, going to go straight for this Dragon. They've got the Rend execute potential, so he's going to get it there.
CaoMei being the next Dragon now on the board. Stanley using those Transcendent Space to make sure CaoMei is either forced to teleport back here, or actually China are going to actually rotate their bottom lane, top lane, and the top lane, bottom lane, respectively. And now Toyz, he's going to be the kind of linchpin in these fights, because we mentioned before GodJJ is going to be this hard-hitting Cobmore coming into the late game. There's a lot of pick potential and a lot of gank potential as well from Ro, but it's only made that happen a couple of times, and that was quite a few minutes ago now.
Good read by THM to do the counter move up. They're going to move their bot lane towards the top, although this is going to result in China getting pressure here. There's a good pull.
Okay, Destiny comes in as well. He's going to be straight on top of them. Teleport is going to come through from the Java. Mistake caught up in the card. Does heal away, but the first kill of the fight will go over to Lilballz. Cataclysm onto Mistake as well. Cards from Misaya do end up piercing the target true, and he will end up picking up that kill. He's 2-0-2. And teleporting instantly to the mid lane to meet Toyz, pushing into that mid-tier 1.
Yeah, he's done a really good job of exerting map pressure. We'd expect nothing less from the Twisted Fate King himself. Able to make good use of his first couple of Destinies. Now looking to put pressure onto Toyz here. The hook will come out. Cleanse is there.
Ooh, no, hook does end up missing. Toyz sidestepping it.
I like the presence from China, by the way, to know that once Toyz had positional advantage using that ball, there was no way that he's going to get caught up.
Toyz, hang on a second. Agony's Embrace all sewed up. Gold card's going to get insta-clean. Captain Jack-like, but it's not enough. Ro does end up killing him with a hate spikes underneath his own turret. And that'll be pressure in the mid lane now for China.
Just as I was about to praise Toyz for his positioning there with that fight, he walked straight into lane and China set up an amazing gank. Going to put pressure onto this tier 1 turret in the mid lane, but with Lilballz there, you don't expect that they're going to get much work done. Oh, Ruo spies out Stanley. Top lane tier 1 might be the next opportunity for a push here for China. Again, they're going to have that potential to trade so effectively into the Cogmore. You've got the Berserker's Greaves over him right now for WeiXiao, and obviously the threat of the Thresh Kalista lane is still strong. So WeiXiao will probably do what they did in the previous laning phase in the bot and just shove this into the Cogmore and slowly but surely, through War of Attrition, grind this turret down.
Yeah, Blade of the Rain Kings finished with both AD carries now, so they're happy to sit in a 1v1 lane for the moment, but Fzzf is going to rotate now, and so is Mistake. He has got Subjugate available to him, so he could look for a fight here, potentially.
Lilballz, there we go. The turret is very low. That attrition is starting to stack up, and Lilballz is on the top side of the map. Don't know if he'll be there in time to defend this top lane tier 1. Looks like he wants to move there ASAP, but they will spot him out with the use of a control ward in that tri-brush if he makes that way.
A turret being chunked heavily. GodJJ only just saving it.
They are so desperate to take this turret down. It's just a couple of basic attacks there. But Lilballz is waiting in the sidelines, and China do have to be careful because they could overcommit and not get the turret anyway.
You can see the vision. They have no clue he's actually in topside right now. CaoMei completely hidden as well from Toyz.
I'm wondering whether the control ward picked him up, though, there in the river, because it does look like Toyz is incredibly defensive with his movements. There is the top lane tier 1 going down. Lilballz had moved away, and they do give that over to the Chinese squad. So 2 turrets to none right now, and Rift Herald is now on the cards 16 minutes into the game because they've generated a bit of pressure in that top lane by shoving it in and taking that turret. It means that they should be able to get this for pretty much free. Oh,
hey, right. He showed himself in mid. Now Lilballz rotating just to make sure Toyz is safe underneath his turret. The turret diving potential from Team China right now is all too strong and all too apparent as well. Now Rift Herald will go over to a big rend, about 900 damage. CaoMei's going to leave at that one. Fzzf picking it up, so he's going to get the fast recall and come back into lane very sharpish. And now Misaya, he's got Gain Destiny available once again, so he needs to make use of it. He's made 2 good uses thus far. With those 2 turrets being down as well, THM have to be hella careful.
Hey, it's Misaya's golden rule. As long as the first 2 Destinies in the game get something done, Everything after that, do as you will.
Good as gold. Just like the golden card.
Waiting for him to finish that Lich Bane, which would be the big indicator for him. He'll get him some split push
Agony's
pressure.
embrace onto GodJJ. Cleanse away. He's going to flash to Gate in Destiny underneath the turret. That's a flash from Misaya. That's one dead Pugmore. Teleport is going to get followed through here. Stanley's going to jump straight onto Misaya. The heal comes out from WeiXiao, and he just cuts him down. Rends him out, and now China find themselves 2 kills. Toyz rotating, but tower, it seems to be as good as dead with that Rift Herald on the field too. Lilballz caught out here. CaoMei
the flash.
Still has Cataclysm. Flash from Ro. That'll be another kill on the board for China. They do end up taking their 3rd turret of the game, and it's a top tier 2.
And in a matter of seconds, China have turned what was a moderate lead into a sizable one. And they're going to be able to rotate now towards mid lane. I do like what THM are doing here. They are respecting that they knew China would go for this mid lane push, and Toyz will move over to try and clear the waves. They should be able to defend this as best they can, but goodness me, what a play by Ruo. Destiny again on point from Misaya to just cut off the escape route for GodJJ, meaning stuck between a rock and a very gold card place. Stanley tried to make the play, but unfortunately, Rod of Ages, Twisted Fate's pretty darn tanky. And he was able to get that instantaneous gold card to lock him down. And the chain CC from China has just been so good. Every single time, gold card into hook, gold card into hook, gold card into hook, always locking down the same target, always on the same page. We did say that the Chinese roster looked like the more polished, the favorites coming into this. And man, they are taking absolutely no prisoners here, Jaws.
Side's taking no prisoners. He's 4-0-4. TF player has been found. It is Misaya. He's got the Lich Bane. He's got the Rod of Ages. Clouddrake being the next on the board for China. 10-2 right now. We are 18 minutes into the game here at Scoundrel. And we're almost at a 10k gold lead. It's sitting about 8,000 right now. And this is looking all too reminiscent of their game versus North America earlier today.
But it's Misaya that is the one that's driving the team. 4-0-4, as well as Ruo. You have to give credit to Ruo. His early game pressure has been just as good as it was on the Elise on this this Evelyn. And, I mean, what a game from Misaya to bring back his Twisted Fate. Has been so influential across the map with his teleports. And now he's got the potential to split push as well. We did say that China could transition into a 1-3-1 if they so choose. And that looks like what Misaya is going to do here now that Lich Bane is up and ready to go. Although, I do like what THM are doing. They're trying to put Stanley up against Misaya in the 1v1 scenario. With the Triforce finished now, you imagine that the Aurelia is going to have a fairly good time 1v1 versus Twisted Fate, although he might be too far ahead in terms of items for him to contend with right now. But it is probably the better matchup for THM to take to relieve pressure in one of these side lanes.
CaoMei escaping off the right-hand side of your screen there. Flag and drag over the wall. Pillar didn't really seem to bother him all too much. Now the 2 teleports, like we said, are being used quite handily here. Stanley doesn't have his available, so actually sticking around the mid lane and then rotated towards top side. THM now just putting pressure on the mid. Yeah,
I think they saw that the THM team had invested 4 members into this mid lane, so that's going to give a free opportunity for China and Ruo to rotate top. I think Ruo just acting as a mobile ward here, trying to catch off someone that's going to...
Combat ward.
Yeah, combat ward.
Combat ward. A lot of damage down onto that mid tier 2 now.
Stanley's going to make his way over, but Misaya is very careful in his top lane positioning.
Oh, hello. Toyz been found. Here comes the Gate in Destiny. Good as dead. That was very, very quick. Lilballz has been hooked as well. He's straight into Cataclysm 2. Flashed into the Cataclysm. Box was set up as well. Team China, in a blink of an eye, take another 2 kills. And guess who's on the board and available? Giant Purple Worm.
They're going to take Baron here. I don't know how easy this will be for THM to contest. I think they're actually going to be able to take a turret alongside this. And the Chinese team would make an excellent boxer. Feint a jab to the right. Put pressure on that bot lane and suddenly take a massive left hook swing in the mid. They are just able to so easily pull the THM team to the side with this split push pressure that they have. They say, okay, we're going to shove these side lanes. We're going to put pressure on your tier 2 and inhibitor turrets in the top and bot lane. Toyz feeling like he's pretty safe, mainly due to the fact there is just no aggressive vision to spot rotations coming through River here. No real vision across the blue side jungle for that rotation of CaoMei from that bot lane either, and they were just able to catch Toyz out by himself. And again, that chain CC just so delightful to watch from the Chinese roster.
I'm so sad for Lilballz as well. As soon as he flashed, he thought he was good as gone. Flashed actually into the Cataclysm more when it pushed him ever so slightly back in and slowed up, stunned up.
But again, Misaya using the gates to just create zoning space. Wait a second, Ruo.
Oh, hang on a second. He's found Toyz. Shockwave's going to get flashed out of. Oh, there's the pillar as well. Subjugate used. GodJJ going to chase him down now. Mistake. Takes the final hit with his club. Ends up finishing him off. That's one less Baron buff for China now, but they still march on to that tier 2 bot.
Yeah, that was 3 members committed to dealing with Ruo. The flash bought a little bit more time for China to move that bot lane up, and they're going to get a tower out of it. Who says you need a top lane? Whoa, whoa. That was
flash play. Hook gets dodged out as well. Fate's call out of there to safety.
Was that Yellow Star?
I think it was. Missed everything and more.
Attempted play there from Fzzf. Didn't make it happen. Trying to go for the 4 versus 5. The disrespect engage from China.
I mean, they're famous for their aggression, right? They're not letting off the pedal. They're doing their home country proud.
12k now as well.
Exactly.
And especially now you've got Baron, the 1-3-1 is going to become that much more effective too. Misaya able to go into the side lane. Zhonya's is there. He can pull off the old school Misaya trick. I'd love to see him do it just for a bit of a crowd pleaser.
Okay, and Destiny up in the top side. There's the shockwave, the cleanse, instantly used by Toyz. So Misaya cannot find anything with that gate and Destiny and the gold card.
Looks like is Toyz going towards Banshees here?
I think he should have just Zhonya's there for the style points.
Yeah, maybe.
In all honesty, but didn't happen. Oh, hang on a second. Yeah, Rogue gets spotted out. Has actually gone for the Lich Bane build here, something we quite commonly see on Combat Evelyn. No tankiness, no 6 stack on the Sunfire back in Season 2.
He didn't go defensive on his Elise. Why would he go defensive on his Evelyn? This is hella damage coming out from the Chinese team, and they're going to look to siege onto this mid lane. Although their siege isn't particularly amazing.
Oh, hang on a minute, CaoMei. What are you doing over there? Flag and drag away. Let's find himself out.
Side lane's pushing in here for THM. It's probably going to bring the Chinese team apart from their 5-man siege. Get back to that 1-3-1 where they have the double teleport and the Twisted Fate ultimate to affect the map. Haven't had the greatest use of their Baron buff yet, though. Maybe they could look for something. Though, let's be honest, pretty much every easy target turret has already gone down for the Chinese team, so Baron would really have been trying to take an inhibitor turret, but they haven't had the opportunity to use that 1-3-1 to the best of its advantage yet, as they've been grouping up and fighting quite a lot, which is fair enough when you're 12k gold ahead. 13k now as well.
Yeah, 13k. 25 minutes in, 13,000 gold. It's looking all too good for China right now. Not really too many mistakes. I mean, we have seen it before in LPL where teams are just ridiculously far ahead and they do end up throwing these just on the over-aggression. Lilballz trying to take some Viz jungle back now.
Misaya not willing to overcommit to that bot lane because there was just no vision in the blue side jungle for the Chinese team. Incredibly safe play, probably looking to preserve that perfect 5-0-5 score that he has on his Twisted Fate. But a clever heads-up play. You can see that their map presence and map awareness is still with them. He's going to head back towards this mid lane and does look actually like WeiXiao is going to go for that red buff. Slow play now from China. Haven't had the opportunity. The wave clear is coming out now. Banshee's finished up for Toyz. There is a timer of this Cogmore to worry about, as they're going to go for a Ocean Drake, which will be their 3rd Drake of the game here for China.
Now we have 2 Ocean Drakes and a Cloud Drake to round it all out. The Elder Dragon looking pretty scary as soon as that 35-minute mark has been hit. And another Ocean Drake. What do you know? A lot of CC, a lot of sustain. Got a lot of CC2, but a lot of sustain on the board for China now. Yeah, like you said, GA has been finished by WeiXiao, so it's going to give him an extra life, as well as the cleanse, most importantly there as well, to be able to cleanse out of pretty much anything. Although cleanse flashing knock-up, for example, would probably be the main use of that, or a stun from Stanley, who hasn't been too dominating outside the laning phase. He's 2-2 right now, losing heavily in CS, but I mean, he's been an absolute... Well, CaoMei's been an absolute wonder boy on this J4.
Yeah, there's something that Stanley had issues with against Kevin in the European side of things. Always fell behind in CS, but came back in the late game. China now looking to make great use of their split push pressure. That Misaya, Lich Bane, Twisted Fate, they get a hook onto the Trundle.
Hook onto Mistake. There's the Science coming out onto Roe. That's a big silence, but it's not going to matter. Flag and drag onto the Cogmore. He's already dead before Misaya gets there. Lilballz trapped in the Cataclysm. Pugmore dead once again. Destroys the turret too. China, they find 2 kills, and they find a 3rd at the end of that one as well, and they're going to find a turret and an inhibitor as well. 25 minutes in, they pulled the trigger, and now they're just knocking it down THM's base.
They just needed one opportunity to try and put pressure onto the THM roster here. Are they going to go for the win now, Jaws? They've got about 20 seconds of enemy free time to do so. They are pushing hard onto these Nexus turrets. It might be too much to ask for the Chinese roster, though, as the rest of THM should respawn. Toyz does have that shockwave. They will have to be careful as they try to make their escape.
And here's this Chinese aggression coming out on your screens right now. Mistaken Stanley, as well as Toyz chasing them up. Stanley can't find it in, though. They do end up taking one Nexus turret, so at least they've got that for their troubles. Bounty's on the cards as well in 1 minute.
What I really like what the Chinese team is doing is that they might not be 1-3-1ing, but they are at least drawing Toyz to wave clear against Misaya. And that's something that is really good against an Orianna composition. One of the best ways to defeat an Orianna teamfight-based composition, which is what THM kind of have here, late-game teamfight composition, with the Kog'Maw and the Orianna, with two ways to deliver that ball. You have the ability to just run Cho'Gath in, or you can obviously use Stanley and his Blade Surge to get it into the right position. As GodJJ's caught out here.
Uh-oh, yes he is. Rowe's going to find him. That Lich Bait doing so much work. Nice pillar, though. Lilballz is going to get the knock-up as well on the Rupture. He's going to get devoured. The feast is too much, and he does end up falling. Fzzf trying to look for the hook here. There's a lot of members grouped up here. Teleport coming through from CaoMei as well. Does have the flag and drag over the wall. He's going to find Toyz, but they're going to turn their attention towards Mistake. WeiXiao picks up the kill. There's a Cataclysm on Toyz. Does flash away. Fzzf trying to find something. Nice two-man shot away from Toyz. Ends up finding one kill here, but WeiXiao and Misaya coming for the backup. The army has arrived. Double kill for Misaya. WeiXiao even. Lilballz getting run down underneath his turret. Gate. Destiny, gold card, kill for Misaya again. And now this is going to be the end of the game. 40-second death timers here for THM. They're going to lose their last Nexus turret and the first game of this best of 3. We've seen Misaya's TF. He's got the perfect KDA as well. Well, if he's careful, he might do. That was close. Gold card. No! He ruined it! Oh, Misaya right at the very end. He died once. You can see him laughing on your screen, but still trying to take the 1-0.
Absolutely no mercy given to the home team of the Hong Kong Taiwanese Macau roster. China looked as every bit dominant as they did versus North America, and they pulled apart this composition from the Taiwanese Hong Kong Macau team THM so easily. Drew Toyz to the side lane, forced him to wave clear in a split push scenario, meant that he could never function and was never there at the right time. China then out-rotated quickly, decisively, looked for those team fight scenarios, and then Toyz was never in the correct position at the right time to execute on those shockwaves. He always late, and that's because of the speed and the way that the Chinese pulled the THM roster from one side of the map to the other over and over again. Just masterclass stuff from these guys.
You can tell they've been practicing. Like they said,
yeah.
1 month boot camp. Playing a Master Challenger on the Chinese servers. I was going to say Korean servers. That would be a challenge as well. Challenge and a half, but I wasn't too much of a challenge for China in this game. It's a best of 3, however, so you've got to keep that in mind. They can come back with a vengeance. THM could pull some wacky stuff out. I was excited to see the Toyz and the Orianna, but like you said, just couldn't really find the engage. And you looked at their composition, you said, okay, they've got Cho'Gath to kind of run at people. That's great, but turns out WeiXiao, if he gets ahead on the Kalista, there's nothing GodJJ can actually do.
And I think everybody from China, the Chinese team, performed admirably. I'd say that Ruo really set this game up as a pace. His early game presence has been so good across every game that he has played so far today, including both versus North America. But we have to give credit to Misaya's Twisted Fate. Every Destiny got something done. Every gate found an opportunity to either cut off the escape of an enemy carry that the team had engaged on. His gold cards were perfectly chaining with the CC from the rest of the team. What a game to show that you still have one of the best Twisted Fates in the world. I don't think that accolade will ever get stripped from Misaya himself. He is the Twisted Fate god. He is probably one of the inspirations for most Twisted Fate mains out there right now, and just showed that he's still got exactly what it takes to do the decision-making, the mechanics, the pulling the crucial cards at the right time as well. I was very impressed.
I was extremely impressed. And as soon as he locked it in, I was like, okay, we've got a game on our hands. But then Evelyn came out for Rowe as well. And like you mentioned, just a devastating force in it. Evelyn's very, very hard to kind of keep track of, especially in solo queue. But coming into these more competitive-orientated games, he even ran away with it. He picked up the Dark Seal as well. That's how confident
he did it on the Elise as well, though.
Doesn't look like we are going to a quick break, however. We're going to jump back into the action very soon with game number 2. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll see you then.